All right, y'all, we're gonna take this bad boy for a ride, kind of see where it's at, see what these numbers are doing. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take those numbers and do some research and kind of see where these numbers lie. All right, y'all, so what I'm doing here is I took this boost gauge down, and then I also just took out, this must have been some old style knock sensor or something. I've never seen this before, so I'm assuming it's really old. I would imagine it probably still works, but they had it disconnected. So I'm not gonna deal with this, and it just sits right on top of the dash, and I think that looks kind of tacky. So I'll just get a knock sensor, you know, sometime down the road, or sometime soon actually. But you can also monitor knock on the Scanmaster as well too. There's a way that a guy that I know who works on a lot of these cars showed me how to do it. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and just disconnect this. It wasn't even connected anyway. This was connected to the power on the fuse box, but I'm assuming this is a sensor, and it's probably connected somewhere inside the block somewhere. So I'll leave that yellow wire and just try to trace it at some point. But this ground was never connected, so somebody disconnected this ground. But anyways, it's not really a rat's nest under there, but it's not to my liking. So and you guys know how I am. So anyways, but this light never worked in here either, but that's because somebody disconnected the ground. So what I'm gonna do is reconnect the ground, try to figure out where it goes, and then just go from there. So, and I'm also gonna replace it with an LED bulb. I have a few spares of these LED bulbs. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace that. Eventually I'm gonna go LED inside the whole entire car. So that is my goal, go LED all in the car. And I want to also change out this speedo cluster at some point, but we'll kind of just see how that goes. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and try to change this out. Oh, there we go. Huh. All right, I'll pull this out. These are just these, looks like they're the 194 style bulbs. I don't know which one I should put in there. Maybe I'll put this one in there. So I have two different style LED bulbs. This is just a single LED inside here, but it has this little casing around it. And then these actually have, I think, 5 LEDs. So these are really bright. I think these are what I put on my Chevelle in my box. But if you guys can kind of see, so they have 4 all the way around, and then there's one at the very top. Which I like these too, but if I'm putting them inside the car, I kind of like to have that, or not inside the car, but if I'm putting them on like a parking lens or something, I do prefer to have this little housing around it just to give it a cleaner look, but not a deal breaker. But since this is only one LED, then I'm just gonna go ahead and put it in here. I think that other one might be too bright, but we'll see. Hopefully it fits. Shoot, it might not fit. Oh man. Huh. Let me see. Sometimes these, yeah, so that might not work. Dang it. Well, I might be going with this one. Let's see. I just don't want it to be too bright. Yeah, that one fit better. Yeah, so this bottom part of the bulb is fatter than this. So when I put it inside, it wouldn't stay, which is very odd. I'm gonna try it one more time. Yep. It's not bad. I wonder if I can kind of, hold on one second. I might try to see if I can bend those prongs. All right, let me see if I can kind of bend those prongs a little bit and see if that helps. Well, it might help. Huh. Where's it at? Let's see. Oh yeah, it might help. Yeah, I think we're golden. I think that might have been what it was, but this is definitely thinner anyway. See something real quick. Turn on this light, ground this thing. Maybe turn the wrong way. Oh, let's see. Oh, yeah. There it went. She works and she's bright. Ooh wee. All right, let's see. Let's see if this thing works. Oh yeah. You guys can tell, but it is on. So nice, 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 nice. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna turn you guys off. I'm gonna kind of just put all this back together, or maybe I'll time lapse it. We'll see. And then I'll figure out where I'm gonna wire in the Scanmaster and all that stuff. So anyways, you guys stay tuned. All right, you guys, I'm out here. It is starting to get dark. Probably can't really tell because my camera is probably bringing out the light in the darkness. But anyways, I got a lot done. I wanted to not bore you with all the wiring, but it is pretty much done. I just got to clean up everything. So how the Scanmaster works is, this is your serial data line. So it goes to pretty much what I thought, pin E, which is the second line on that ALDL connector, which is basically an OBD2 port or OBD port. And it goes there and it gets all the data from the computer, which is over there. Now you can hook it up directly to the computer as well, but that data line also runs to that ALDL connector. And then all you need is power. I ran out of red wire, so I just hooked it up to this pink wire and hooked it up to the ignition, which is up there, if you can see where that pink connector is. Then you hook it up to a ground. It could be any chassis ground. You can hook it up to a ground lead on like a light, cigarette lighter, or whatever. So I just hooked it up directly to the dash. This part actually hooks up to the covering that sits up under here. So you have these tabs here and then one over there, and it hooks up to that. So I just hooked it up to that since the dash is basically grounded to the chassis. And then I have this other ground hooked up to the light on the boost gauge. So anyways, it should work. I actually haven't turned on the car yet, but I turned it on just to see if it powered on. So we're gonna do that right now. So it should work okay now. Now, I tested it first, and I have it hooked up to an ignition source, so it only gets power when the key is on. So I have it hooked up to ignition 1, but ignition 1 doesn't work for some odd reason. I don't know. So I'm probably gonna have to figure that out. I don't know if the fuse is blown on it. I guess the ignition tab wouldn't have a fuse connected to it, I don't imagine. So I have to figure out why that is not getting power at a later date. But then I hooked it up to an ignition 3 source, because it looks like I have 1, 2, 3 sources. So I hooked it up to that and it powers on. So we'll go ahead and start this up. I'll turn it on first. So there you go. Power is on. And then when I turn it on, it should tell me what the car is doing. All right, you guys, so it looks like it is working. Now I gotta do my research on the Scanmaster to see where everything lies. But if I'm going through it here, it looks like everything is registering. Now I think this number here, if I'm not mistaken, is supposed to be anywhere between like 123 and 128, minus plus or minus 10 if I'm not mistaken. So it looks like it might be a little bit off, so I have to try to figure that out. Miles per hour, climate, air temps, and temperature. So TPS, I can't remember where that's supposed to be, so I have to figure that out too. So anyways, we're kind of looking like it's at least it's all registering. So I'll go ahead and turn it off, so I don't want to run it too long. But hey, it is working. So that's pretty much how you hook it up. I'm not sure if a Scanmaster was ever hooked up into this. I don't know if anything was ever really monitored on this car. So I'll probably actually maybe drive it just to kind of just get it up to temp, just see what it's doing. So what I'm gonna do right now before I lose daylight is go ahead and put all this back together. I did find out that I had a courtesy light out, and actually I never seen a courtesy light with like a 194 bulb, and that's what that one is. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and change that one over there since I put an LED one in here. And then shoot, man, we'll be in the business. So I gotta hook up all this back up. So I'll go ahead and do that right now, you guys, before I can beat this daylight. But I got the Scanmaster in, and I did some other odds and ends too. So I didn't realize that dome light is out because I don't really ever drive it at night. And so I went ahead and fixed it, put a spare LED that I had bought for my Chevelle, and it came with an extra one, so I put one in there. Also, again, that LED is under here. But the weird thing is the other side takes a different bulb. It's the same bulb that I thought this one took originally, but then I found out this one was like a 194 bulb, and that one is I'm not exactly sure. I think the bulb on it said 89. It was kind of a pain to get out, but then I had to take off the cover to get to it. So anyways, I'm gonna have to order another one of those. But you guys can see I got the Scanmaster routed down, and you can see how it was installed before, and it has a natural bend right there already. So that's how it was before, so it actually just fits right there perfect. Tucked up the wires the best I could. I'm gonna have to get under there and clean up everything, but as of right now, it is what it is. So anyways, y'all, I think I'm actually gonna take it for a spin and kind of see how it drives. So, but you know, we're making way on it, and it looks pretty dang good, you guys. So right here, it actually came with a built-in, well, not a built-in, but somebody put in a radar detector. So I didn't realize that it actually just slid down if you pushed it down. So I'm gonna have to fetch it out somehow. So, all right, y'all, so let me go ahead and warm up the car, then I'll move this car out the way, and then we'll go ahead and do a little night cruise. So you guys stay tuned. right, y'all, we're gonna take this bad boy for a ride, kind of see where it's at, see what these numbers are doing. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take those numbers and do some research and kind of see where these numbers lie. So anyways, I think these front shocks are bad too, because they rub when I hit the bumps. I don't know, it's weird. I'm gonna take this thing for a roll around this. I'm gonna take this thing for a nice little cruise. You can see LED working. Yeah. So I think, I'm not sure what these numbers are supposed to be while idle. I have to check, but I think while cruising, technically they're supposed to be somewhere between like 123 and 128, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I think plus or minus 10, but it's been so long, man, since I actually had a Turbo Regal. Well, I guess, you know, almost 2 years, but I think if I'm right around those numbers, I'm okay. So we're gonna see where we're at. Man, getting this thing dialed in, y'all. So I posted a photo today of my prior Turbo Regal, man. I really do miss that color, man. That color was on point, and that paint job was real nice. Real nice, so. Come on, man. People don't know how to drive. All right, so let's see where these numbers kind of lie as I'm cruising. So 130, 120, 118. Actually, I'll keep straight. So yeah, I'll just kind of monitor what they do, and then we'll just kind of go from there. So another thing I noticed too, it has a slight hesitation when I hit the gas. So I'm not sure if that's injectors. The previous owner said he put a new fuel pump in it, but I'm probably gonna drop the tank and just kind of see what's up. I've had an issue with the fuel pump before, with the actual hose popping off, or barely kind of hanging on, so it wouldn't get all the fuel through that hose that feeds up to the front of the engine. So there's a hose, a rubber hose that connects from the fuel pump to the actual sender, and I've had it before where it actually popped off a couple times, and also even kind of just barely hanging on. So sometimes when you know, step on the gas or something like that, if it's barely hanging on, then it won't get all the fuel needed that the engine needs. So basically it won't get all the fuel supplied from the pump up to the motor. So I've had that happen before, and that wasn't cool. So anyways, I mean, BL's kind of just seemed to be kind of hanging, and then I wanted to drive it to get it up to temp to kind of just see where it would hang. So man, I love driving this car though. Yeah, it kind of seems to be steady. All right, y'all, so what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and kind of monitor these numbers without recording, and then I'll chime back in here in a little while.